Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dietitian Life. As you can see, or as you will hear, Peta is not here today. So she is in Tasmania. She's been there since Tuesday, having a leisurely time. No, she is seeing a practitioner down there, which has been really cool. So I'm doing this solo. I was meant to bring in my to-do list that I use every week to cross things off, write things down, plan, organise, and do it methodically, but I forgot. I forgot I had a doctor's appointment this morning, just to check up, and as a result, I didn't have my to-do list, but I'll try and remember for you anyway. A lot of my week this week, because last week I was in Melbourne, and then I go to Sydney and then Melbourne this weekend until next Friday, I have been catching up on stuff I wasn't able to do in Melbourne, as well as planning for the next week. I've also seen a couple of clients, so I did some skin folding on someone that I hadn't seen in a while. That just comes in just to give skin folds, which is cool. I always like doing skin folds. And saw a couple other clients. Also interviewed a potential new admin person for Dietitian Life. We've probably got a day and a half where we could probably get someone else in to do some hours to help with the workload. There's just so much to do. So I had that conversation with the current admin staff, identified what kind of space we had. One of them said they had a friend that would be good for it, who's also studying dietetics in their third year, and met her, she's awesome. So I've sent her a contract, we'll hopefully tie that up over the next couple of days. And I also had a meeting with someone about grants. So there was a government department that sent us a letter saying, hey, are you aware of all the grants that are available to you? I'm like, no, please come in. I was aware of a few, but it's always helpful to learn additional information and see if there's any shortcuts or tricks of the trade that I can get off the people that I talk to. So we talked about other business grants, vocational education, like extra stuff. So deployments of business administration, bookkeeping, to allied health assisting and all of that. So I'm not sure how much use that would be. That's the government giving subsidies towards like TAFE accreditation diplomas and that type of thing. But it's still something extra. Outside of that, other business grants, stuff that we're already looking to apply for in terms of just lost my train of thought in terms of getting additional equipment or doing a digital marketing strategy. There are some grants around that. So in your local area, check that out. There's probably something that is available to you. It's often quite hard to find though. Google searching doesn't work that well. Sometimes it does, but yeah, oftentimes you get led down a few rabbit holes. What else did I do? Yesterday I saw Kath. So I drove to North Breeze, dropped her off a bunch of stuff. So a lot of business cards, flyers, posters, some scales. Yeah, just to kind of fill up her car because I've got a full room in my house that has, it's just full of business related stuff, as well as my car boot is full. We opened it up and stuff fell out. Yeah, that is the dietitian life. And Kath's boot was already full, and it was full of, because she's a diabetes educator as well, it was full of glucometers and other samples, as well as My Health for Life stuff. Queensland dietitians will know about that. If not, you should probably get on it. I won't go into it here. And yeah, we've had a good chat about relationships with people that we work with and organisations that we work with, trying to optimise that. We've been getting quite a lot of referrals from a couple of particular people, so I let her know that I really want her to reach out to that person, set up a personal meeting and say face-to-face the thank you, and whether or not there's anything that we can do to support them better. And they're not anyone special, like everyone's special, but they're not anyone that's special, like a higher up that we're like, oh yeah, let's do that to exploit that. It's like literally just to say thank you. And I think doing that is actually, a great way, obviously, to build a relationship. And I know a lot of dietitians and other business owners just don't take the time to foster those relationships. And as a result, they kind of come in big peaks and troughs, or you'll see them for a little bit and then they drop off. So having that conversation, even though it's a huge effort a lot of the time to get up a schedule that works, and maybe you have to drop off a couple of clients just to do that meeting, but that meeting could lead to many other things, but ultimately a great relationship. What else did I do? Got an interview with someone after I do this video here in Maroochydore. So they just, over the last, from Sunday to Tuesday, it's Friday today, I had eight applications for jobs that are non-existent. So they were just 8 different people that said, I want to work for you, I want to work with Fuel Your Life, which is pretty awesome. Like, that was one of our goals, or part of the vision for this year, about becoming the biggest and best dietetic company in Australia. Huge goal. But part of it was wanting people to work for us. So wanting people to be a part of our company, to work with us. And yeah, ultimately, it's starting to happen now. We were getting one or two every week or a couple of weeks, but it's starting to become more regular, and it's really cool. So I'm interviewing someone because I ask a lot of people some questions before I get to an interview type of thing a lot of the time. I know there's a few others that will hit up for interviews next week. Peta's been getting quite a few as well. But one of the things I asked was more about them. I asked her about herself, what she thought she brought to the table, different challenges she's experienced, that type of thing. And it was so refreshing, her answers. You could tell that she was just being so open and honest. And that is something that not enough of you do. I get it. When a potential employer asks you a question, you kind of want to give them the answer that you think they want, because that will get you that job. To a point, yeah, sure. But if you're pretending to be someone, if you're pretty much lying to someone, or just not being truthful, then what's going to happen when you start? Are you going to continue to pretend to be that person, or are you going to change, and then the employer's like, what the hell, this isn't the person I hired? It's just not a good strategy. And for me, when I'm hiring, I value the honesty and self-awareness so much that even if you said, I'm terrible at 10 things and I'm only good at 1, I'm more likely to hire you than if you said, oh no, I'm good at everything. Because it's unlikely that you are. So the moment she replied with that, I was like, yep, I need to meet this girl. And after the interview, hopefully it goes well, then I'll decide around, all right, so where can I create a role for you? And that's the thing that a lot of you guys don't realize, and a lot of people are kind of underutilizing, is that you're not hitting people up, you're waiting, you're being reactive to applications. And I get that, that's 90% of the population, but what if 90% of the population do it? Why don't you become part of the 10% who then hit up and seek work experience, who seek work shadowing, who will actually put in the work to get the job? That'll set you apart. So why wouldn't you want that? Yeah, it's harder. Yeah, you got to do some work for free half the time, but do you get a job out of it rather than sitting down and working at the coffee club? Your choice. The other thing was a big thing this week was I was struggling a little bit, and I posted on my LinkedIn about it. This video will come out a week after, but I posted on my LinkedIn about leading performance. So if you go to my profile, look at my past posts, leading performance. And basically, I was struggling a little bit, and I talked to Peta about it, about my role and I guess communication with the team. It reminds me very much like a sitcom where you have the mum that whinges to the dad all the time about how he's always the fun parent, she's the disciplinarian or the one that tells them no, or tells them to do something and X and Y and Z. And I was starting to feel like that parent, that every time that I would do a group-based or company-wide kind of email, it wasn't necessarily about, all right, you're doing a great job. It was, you're doing well, but let's go here. Let's go to the next. Let's keep improving. And I think that is my role. Like, and after discussion with Peta, like that's, that is my role. If we want to achieve the vision, someone's got to do it, and I'm happy to be that person. But sometimes you do wish that you had more opportunity to, celebrate the wins. I think we do it well anyway. Like, we do celebrate it. We've got the quarterly awards, and that only just happened, and so we were pumping up the team a lot. And some of the people are making like great inroads with so many clients and getting great results, and the practitioners are like improving, which is awesome. But then there's some stuff, and the average across the board has started to drop a little bit. And it's something that we've noticed over probably the last 6 weeks. And it comes down to people not attending like the free PD that we give, people not utilising the education and nutrition subscriptions that we are providing for everyone. And that's really doing a disservice to themselves, but also their clients. So it was me kind of pumping everyone up a bit, telling them to, put in the work if they want to be better. Because every single one of them has had the conversation personally with me about wanting to be the best practitioner that they can, wanting to have an impact with clients, wanting to make a difference. And even though we are making a difference across the board, and I think our average is still above what the average dietetic industry would be, but we don't want to be average, and we don't want mediocrity. And it's not something that I've ever wanted for myself, nor the company. So we want to keep pushing. So that was what my email was about. A couple of people have said it was pretty good, which is appreciated. Thank you. But yeah, ultimately, I was struggling with that a little bit. But I'm keen, and I did like, the result and some of the replies I'm getting, and it seemed to be taken the right way. So I really, I mustn't be too bad at it. And this week coming, so tomorrow I am flying to Sydney at 7 a.m. Got an awards night there, so that's that Young Entrepreneur of the Year award. I'm a finalist for that for the Australian Small Business Champion Awards. Yes, Australian, which is cool, not a local one. As well as Feel Your Life has been nominated as a finalist, or has achieved finalist status on Health Improvement Services category award. Don't know who I'm up against. Don't know who the business is up against. It looks like I have to wear a suit, which I'm really not happy about. I actually called up. This is how much I love wearing a suit. I called up and just said, like, on the invitation, it just says evening wear as the dress code. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Because it didn't say like black tie or formal, it said evening wear. I'm like, my evening wear is a t-shirt. Is that cool? Yes, they were like, no, it's going to be very formal. I was like, ugh. But I'll probably try and find my way around it. But yeah, I'll probably stick out like a sore thumb regardless, so whatever. And then Melbourne, fly from Sydney to Melbourne on the Sunday, come back next Friday. Anzac Day next week is going to screw things up a bit, but I've got a couple of meetings planned, a few work shadowing efforts. And although I might not get an opportunity to see everyone, or everyone might not want to see me because they only saw me like last week, I think me being there is important, and being available, whether or not they use me or not, just being available to them, I think is an important thing. And if you are managing staff, if you are someone that owns a business and you have staff, I think just having the access there, if they need it, can be just as good as if you were actually there. So a lot of the time, dietitians feel like they're self-reliant, don't want to ask questions because they don't want to feel stupid or that they're inadequate, instead of thinking, hey, I can utilize this to my advantage. A lot of them don't. But I think in terms of support, having it available, knowing that they can, if they want to, reach you or to get that support from you is important. And we do that, remotely and electronically always. and I'm available at any time of day or night for any practitioner to call me or email me or whatever. But it's just about, they don't, because they just want to know it's there. And I think that makes them comfortable anyway. Now I'm down a rabbit hole and ranting, going around in circles, and it's making no sense. So I apologise for that. But when there's Peta not here to slap me and tell me to shut up or to get back on track, then this is what happens. But yeah, ultimately, I think that gives a good wrap up of what my week was. So meetings, emails constantly. Oh, that's what I had to do. I've stayed up till like friggin' 2 a.m. to write a business plan. Like, I don't have a business plan. Shock, horror, don't have one. Never did. Like, I wrote a business plan in uni. I did a Bachelor of Business initially. Wrote a business plan. Then, like, these days, the plan of business changes so rapidly that a business plan becomes just a document for the sake of having a document. So yes, we've got a plan, 100% we've got a plan, but putting in a structured thing, doing SWOT analysis and all of that, like I do that on the fly. Formalizing it in a business document is not something I enjoy, and no one else is gonna really read it or understand it half the time. It's much better, I think, to be able to communicate that and get people on board and do a lot of that background work so no one else has to. No one has to worry about that because not a lot of dietitians like business, let's be honest. So I'll handle that shit. But yeah, I had to do that for an award that we're applying for, which, that hurt me a little bit. And it wasn't the best. It's because my heart wasn't in it in terms of actually doing it. But I think it's at least above average. Wasn't the best work, but pretty decent. But yeah, that was a big night because we were time poor, so I had to do it. That's it. That's my week. If you do have any questions about anything I said, or you want to apply for a job, or you're interested in learning more about that, hit me up, hit us up, and yeah, Peta will be back next week. She might actually do her week thing in a couple of days, so you might see 2 releases. Otherwise, see you next week.